Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula for SimonsStamp.com and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to create a desert island scene card using a few of my current favorites from Simon. Here I have my Mini Misty stamp positioner and I'm going to grab a few stamps from the Summertime Animals stamp set. I'm going to stamp the little bear and also the pineapple image, and I'm stamping these with Simon Intense Black ink. It's a Copic friendly ink. And I will be coloring these images with Copic markers, so to make sure the ink doesn't bleed when it comes in contact with the alcohol in the alcohol markers, I'm using this particular ink for stamping. I'm double stamping these images as I didn't do a good job the first time, and also I want to have a darker outline. By the way, I stamped these onto Copic Express-It paper. I love using it lately for my Copic marker coloring. Next, I'm going to use several images from the Tropical Leaves stamp set, and I'm going to stamp a bunch of them using various colors of ink. The paper that I'm using here is Simon's 120-pound ultra thick white. There isn't any particular reason why I chose this paper over Neenah, which I usually use, but I just wanted to mention it. So I'm first stamping the little leaf image, and I'm using Willow ink color. I will stamp this image several times, and I will double and also single stamp some of these. Now, you don't really need to double stamp these images. The ink does smooth out over time, and it does give you a nice solid coverage in a couple of minutes. But if you are impatient or if you want a perfect impression right away, you can by all means double stamp all of these images, and Misty makes it so easy. Next, I'm using another leaf image and stamping it in Sunshine ink. This one, along with the previous three images, are going to make up a skirt for the bear to wear. So the bear is not going to have underpants or shorts, but he's going to have a fun tropical skirt instead. He's on a desert island, so it's completely okay to wear a skirt there. I'm going to stamp a few more images, a few more leaves here using various colors of green and also mint. And I'll use these images to create a palm tree for the card and just to add a bunch of tropical greenery to my project. Now, some of these images are color layering, meaning they have a second detail layer to them. I'm only going to stamp one layer for each. I'm not adding any detail today. Like I mentioned, I'm going to color my outline images with Copic markers. Now, I don't want to do any shading here. In fact, I just want to add a flat layer of color, so no going from light to dark or from dark to light. I'm using E15 to color the bear. There's a ton of sunshine on his desert island, so of course he tanned quite a bit. And I'm using E31 to color his paws, his belly, and his face. And by the way, I'm not coloring his underpants here. He's not going to wear any on the final card, so I'm not coloring that part of the image. I did, however, extend the brown color a little higher from his legs so that there's no white showing through the leaves. I also colored the pineapple, and I used Y21 marker to add a base layer of color and Y17 to add detail. This card is not about the coloring, it's about the scene, so I didn't focus on the coloring much. For the green part of the pineapple, I used YG03 marker. The next step was to use matching dies and cut all of these images out. By the way, I also stamped a sunshine image using Duckling ink, so I die cut that image out as well. While I had my die cutting machine there, I created the actual island. I used the largest die from the Stitched Ovals die set and also Sunshine cardstock, and I just die cut a hill for my bear to stand on. Once I had all of my elements ready, I started putting this card together. I used Spring Rain ink and a mini round ink blending tool and blended the ocean behind the island. I added quite a bit of ink, and I wish I added less, but I think it ended up okay in the end. I love how this color disappears into white and there isn't a defined horizon line between the water and the sky. Next, I foam mounted the island die cut. Instead of using foam adhesive squares, I used foam sheets that are meant for die cutting. So I just cut a small hill with my scissors. I could have die cut it, but it was faster to cut it with scissors, and I used that to foam mount the island. I didn't use regular foam adhesive as I didn't want the island to be raised too much above the background. I also stamped a sentiment, and I used Simon's Slate Hybrid ink. I went with Summer, Fun in the Sun. I like how the sentiment is created in the form of a block instead of a single line. It's also a very large sentiment, and it was a perfect match for this card. Next, I started working on that skirt for the bear. I shaped the die cuts a little bit to give them a slight natural curve, and then I used multi-medium adhesive and matte finish and adhered them one by one, making sure to cover up his underpants. Once he was ready, I foam mounted him onto the front panel, and I added a pineapple. I really wanted him to hold something, and pineapple seemed like a great option. I foam mounted the sun and used the rest of the die cuts to cluster them on the right-hand side of my panel and create the illusion of a tropical vegetation. I used glue as well as foam adhesive and those foam adhesive sheets to adhere everything, and as I was clustering the leaves, I went outside the panel and later trimmed the axis with my scissors. You can see I have one leaf stamped in yellow, and it also has some glitter on it. I didn't make it when I was stamping the rest of these. This was a leftover from a previous project that seemed to really work well here. The glitter that you see there is from Sparkle Embossing Powder from Hero Arts. I adhered my panel onto a chocolate brown cardstock base, and to finish this card, I added a bunch of clear droplets from Pretty Pink Posh. I also added a bit of glitter to the bottom of the pineapple. I really love how Wanda does that, and I wanted to try doing that myself, and I love the way it turned out. So here's a closer look at this desert island card. I had a blast making it, mainly because I was creating a scene, and these stamps from Simon are perfect for that. You can find the list of supplies used for this project down below, and be sure to click the thumbs up button if you liked this video and to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!